Hey guys, PeeCarNoo here, bringing you guys another GTA 5 video, and in today's video we've got follow-up from the previous video that I did, which is Division 2 from this Children in the Mountain mini endurance racing league that is put together by Cirrus, and this was the other race that I was participating in. Now, the reason I was in this division is because Jack, aka Mini Temper, which we all know, was away at the time, and I was competing or replacing him for this race, so I was in the Turismo R, and this was the first race that I did on the night, and then the Zentorno, which is obviously Division 3, was the race afterwards. So this was the first time I raced, like I said, in GTA for a week, so I was just straight into it, and it was a pretty interesting race because some nice little battles, some good techniques and some good pace, and unfortunately there was some bad luck events that occurred, but nevertheless it was it was a good GTA 5 session, and that's the main thing at the end of the day. So currently all the details are in the description if you haven't seen the previous video anyway, but I'll link them down again. But basically it is the same race, only with the Turismos, and the Turismos are in Division 2 because they do sort of set ever so slightly quicker lap times on this track. The Turismo does feel really good around here, except for that fast left-hander, which is towards the end of that sort of sweeping bridge, as they call it. So as you can see, I started up in last place, and in the two laps I've slowly creeped ahead into like 6th and 5th position, and I choke there. So that was the first choke that I did because I was just pushing and pushing, but I got up to 5th position in literally like a lap and a half, which was pretty interesting. But I'm back down to 7th anyway, so, and that was another choke. So I was like, at this point, right, what's going on here? Yeah, is my car doing some demon stuff? Like, is it just hitting every inside barrier possible? So I had to sort of, take a deep breath and be like, let's just try and go for consistency now and not push as hard, because although I got from like last placed all the way up to 5th position really quickly, consistency was struggling, and just hot lapping. So let's tone it down, let's grind, get some pace, but let's get some consistency going. So forward in the race a little bit now, 7 minutes in, and we can see we've got two drivers in front of me. We've got Oshawott Pro here, and we both take the cars. He was exiting out of the pit, and me and Oshawott Pro are going into this little left-hander, which I was explaining about the Turismo being quite difficult on this hander because the back sort of skips up there. You see the back just floats away and tries to overtake the front of the car, but I take this corner quite nicely, and I'm able to pass him on using the curb, obviously, in the game, which gives me a little bit of a boost. So I'm cutting here, I'm thinking, alright, everything's going wrong. Oh, but it sort of like goes a bit wrong, and then he sort of waits for me, so I'm alright with that. So we're going into the 420, blaze it, and we're sort of passing, the laps by. And at this point, I'm just like, alright, so I'm into like 3rd position now, which is pretty cool. I think the leaders were mostly wanted, and I think it was a digital guy, Max. Oh, I can't remember his name, but anyway, there was two quick drivers, and they were gone. They got a really good start, and they would just keep pushing and pushing each other. And obviously, it was quite hard for me to catch up at the time, being last place at the start. So I was in that situation, obviously, with those two chokes as well. That didn't help me at all. So I was just in 3rd place, just doing my own thing, and I was in sort of in no man's land here, as you can see, for about a good 5-6 laps, just doing my own thing. And you can see on the map now that they're just over the bridge, so they're not that far ahead on me. So I'm just sort of like, you know what, there's quite a lot of time still to go in the race. Let's just try and, even it out and just try and get the pace going. But yeah, this race was more fun than the Zentorno race, if I'm honest with you, because a lot more shit happened, and although I like driving the Zentorno, like I said, it's probably one of the most fun cars to drive at the moment. Turismo around this track is undeniably so much fun. Like, the way it just grips, and it's just awesome. But yeah, I'm in 3rd position now, and you can see the two leaders are just taking that left-hander there, and they're in a battle, but they're also pushing each other, so they are sort of like, really quick. And what do you know? I choke again on that left-hander. So at this point, I'm like, it's not going well. It's not going well for me. So I didn't know really what to do at this point. I was like, should I just keep third position? Because at the end of the day, I was like 12 seconds behind first and second. But at that point, I just thought I'd just go into the pits because my car was a bit damaged, and you know, I might as well just do that. So I dropped back into fifth position, and as you can see, Oshuot Pro is actually ahead of me now. So I'm back into 8th now, actually, from that pit stop. So from 3rd to 8th, from basically a choke and then a pit stop, which ain't good, but then it gave me more cars around me, so I could have a little bit of a battle and try and go for, try and go for some overtakes, which is always the best part of GTA 5 racing. So we are approaching the 15-minute mark in the race, and the lap that we're approaching is 8 out of 20. So you know, still a lot of laps to go at the end of the day, but I just wanted to try and get into that sort of like 4th position again, because I knew I could do it. I knew I could try and push myself to that. Obviously, with a fresh car and a clean car, that's not drifting to the left and hitting barriers. You know, I thought I was quite confident in doing that. So I try and do that. And towards the end of this video, there's actually a really nice little sort of lap and a half battle between me and Chris D, which I just want to, you know, release the raw footage of that. I don't want to commentate over that because it was pretty epic the way it sort of built it up. So I will leave you with that at the end, and that was interesting. I wish it could have gone on for longer, but it was a good race. It was a good little battle at the end of the day. So back into 6th position, and this happens. So I don't know if he clipped the curb and then went into the lamppost and then just demon dragged onto my ass and then flew me off the track. But from my screen, that's what it looked like. So I was back into 7th position again, and then I looked away from my screen because it was windy outside at the time, and I got scared and basically looked out my window, and then all this stuff happened. Like it was literally some sort of like someone just tossed a coin and thought, let's just mess this guy up the entire race. So I went into a wall on the straight, right? I also nearly got taken out by a lamppost. If I didn't take that corner as quickly as I could, that lamppost would have flipped my car. But it landed on my roof, which still slowed me down. So I was just getting bad luck for these couple of laps. But as we're skipping forward, I did sort of get a good 5 laps after that. Those two sort of semi-chokes. Not that they were sort of my fault, but anyway, sort of approaching that. And then this is Chris D. So what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to leave this footage going. So I apologise for any of the microphones in the game, but unfortunately I couldn't do anything about that because other people were speaking. But tell me if you enjoyed this video, and leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new, and I'll leave you with this raw footage of this little battle between me and Chris D, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Cheers.
Victor, move. I cannot switch it.